So, poor Pluto. Pluto's not a planet. How long was it a planet again? Fucking 100 years, some shit like that. Who cares? I grew up thinking Pluto was a planet. I grew up watching, well, first I grew up watching like Ripley's Believe It or Not, a lot of Discovery Channel, Dukes of Hazzard, and Star Trek: The Next Generation, Discovery Channel. I remember the day that the Learning Channel first aired and was actually a channel that helped learning instead of like cooking and judging other people. Um, hmm. So I guess what I'm trying to say here is that combined with let's see, my childhood, I had a entire bookshelf with everything from beginners to college level biology, paleontology, and marine biology textbooks, encyclopedias, different, just all kinds of different books on nature. Um, Not anything creationist or, I mean, this is just regular old science stuff that they teach in school, talking about evolution and everything. Round Earth, the round Earth. Round Earth was something I don't want to say I always accepted because there was when I was flying from Alaska and I was like for a while until I really started watching the NASA footage. I was skeptical because I could see light cast a shadow on different parts of the Earth. Well, if the light is only this high, it's going to cast the same shadows as it would if it was far away. The Earth is curved. So, make a long story short, if that's fucking possible for me. Uh, when I woke up 4 years ago, there was a clear memory, very, very, very clear memory that the Earth was flat. And what I had seen when I woke up, um, while kind of overlooking, I guess you look kind of like cloud cities, very bizarre. Um, I mapped it out which way I was looking. Each city was actually corresponding to where the major continents are. And then that gateway on the video of casting Lucifer back to heaven was directly that way towards relative to where I was facing, where relative to where my old balcony faced, and all the videos that were taken that showed that weird little city in the clouds over there. That for some reason the videos I have don't quite show what we saw that day, but that happened to be right directly towards New Zealand on the flat Earth map. I didn't realize that those directions actually worked on a flat Earth map. They didn't work on a round Earth map. Hell, nothing of what I saw worked on a round Earth map, which is one of the logical reasons why I still to this day maintain a constant stream of consciousness that accuses myself of being crazy. So, checks and balances, whatnot. I'm like a fucking living democracy, for fuck's sake. Um, you got to constantly doubt yourself and question yourself. Otherwise, you're just constantly being misled. Well, you could be. You wouldn't fucking know it because you haven't constantly doubted and checked yourself, have you? So, anyways, my reaction, because dualistic, um, to remembering after 12 years of learning and believing that the world was round and revolved around the sun, even the many memories I had of it clearly being flat was just too much for me to handle. I just started laughing hysterically. Like, no, flat. We were either in the middle of a season of Stargate or Battlestar Galactica. Me and my wife, like we kind of binge watch those things on a daily basis. And we had actually spent the previous month filming. Now we weren't convinced they were UFOs the way people usually perceive them, but we were definitely open to them being from other planets and trying to figure out what planet they might be from and shit like that. So to suddenly have the sky open up and all these other things happen, and then even after that to remember the earth is flat, it still was just hilarious. Most people, you hear the earth is flat, you must be some kind of a fucking moron. Well, about a week ago, I might have found some evidence that disproves the flat earth theory. So I thought. What it was is a camera with a fisheye lens facing up at what was listed as the South Pole. In this video, however, there were points of reference, structures, a couple of little storage containers. It was the North Pole webcam monitoring post. The South Pole has a similar camera setup, but they don't have any video of it circling. See, this video, the reason why I thought, oh, well, maybe I am crazy. Yes! Because I wish I was crazy. You don't understand. Sucks to be me. If I could prove that I was crazy, oh, literally, the weight of the world would be lifted off my fucking shoulders. I would love to be crazy. Love to be crazy. Spent a long time trying to prove that I was crazy. Failing miserably. Unfortunately. For me. But I saw this video, man. And the sun in this fish island be going around in a circle. Like it should at the North Pole or South Pole. If you're a believer in the round earth, you should think that the South Pole should do that. So one would think that if that was at the South Pole, that such video of the sun going in circle would prove all Earth. So I was compelled to verify the video. Found one that was more than 15 seconds long. Couldn't find one from the same location that was more than 15 seconds long. All the long ones were at the North Pole. This one short one, claiming to be at the South Pole, inconclusive at best. As if some round earther was trying to make a very vain effort to disprove the flat earth people. And one of the things that I ask people who believe everything NASA fucking spoon feeds them, is if the earth is round, why is it that every time somebody makes a flat earth debunking video, they don't actually argue against proper flat earth theory? They always use a straw man argument. They say the earth is like a square board and you fall off the edge. Well, admittedly, for even flat earth scientists, and that's what they are, they're flat earth scientists. They believe in empirical observation and verifiable data that can be recreated in a controlled experiment. The edge of the earth, according to proper flat earth theory, is the ring of ice that is transmorphed into Antarctica on the maps that they show the general public. But if you look at it from the North Pole perspective, you see the flat earth map with Antarctica all the way around it. And that map just happens to be the same map that the United Nations has been using since 1945. It is also the only graphic display that you can pull up inside of a Boeing 747 or a submarine. Well, because if you want to navigate on the real flat earth and you're using a fake ball earth to find where you're going, you're going to get fucking lost, aren't you? Okay. But getting back to the problem presented by the edge and the lack of proper explanation, I think, has been given among flat earth scientists. If anyone is familiar with the common scientific phrase absolute zero, the temperature absolute zero, negative 473 degrees Kelvin scale. Wow, I really should have just refreshed my memory on the damn numbers. But anyways, as something approaches the temperature of absolute zero, supposedly, and this is actually according to theoretical science, they've allegedly brought things near absolute zero, but near absolute zero and actually reaching absolute zero could theoretically be two entirely different ball games. Okay, because what happens as a quantity of matter, a given quantity of matter, approaches absolute zero, the actual kinetic energy contained within the molecules of that substance reduces to the point of motionlessness. That's what absolute zero is. It's molecular motionlessness. Electricity will not flow. The molecules will not vibrate. What happens if you take the theory of absolute zero into effect is a finite universe limited by the energy coming from the sun. It is literally the warden of this prison, okay? And there are ways now, in the past 4 years, since the former world has passed away once again, to go beyond this border. But people like Matt Boylan will tell you there's a whole bunch of governments that are afraid of this idea and afraid that a giant war will break out over it. And they're trying to keep most people from knowing what's beyond this big ice wall that's all around us. So imagine for a second the round earth model. If you can't imagine it, I suggest you just look it up. When I first, just backtrack, if I can just backtrack a tangent just a little bit, like a loop de loop, not really a tangent. Okay. When I got done laughing at remembering the earth was flat because I was a round earth believer and a sci-fi junkie, I literally put it out of my mind for a year and a half. It took me a year and a half just to face the truth, just to face the idea that really all that shit's fake. Like, all of it? Yeah, all of it. First thing I did a year and a half after I woke up to address the clear issue I was, faced with, remembering one thing and believing another. I did my first YouTube search because I figured if anybody's got information on this, they should probably have it on a crazy little conspiracy documentary. I searched Flat Earth Debunked. First thing I wanted to search for was debunking Flat Earth theory. And I sat through several videos of people saying they were PhDs and professors and physics majors and blah, blah, blah. Debunking the flat earth theory with nothing but assumptions. Math based on assumptions and assumptions that need math to work. So it's basically a theoretical circle jerk. Okay? I had to go and click, okay, what's the proof of the flat earth theory? All the proof is of the flat earth theory. All observable evidence is of the flat earth theory. Everything that you can see with your eyes, everything that you can test and verify, every credible piece of data that you could gather points to the earth being flat. And there is no reasonable assumption that the earth is a ball or that it is spinning at 1,000-something miles an hour. Do you feel like you're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour? Better yet, when you go from the equator north, do you feel heavier? Because without that outward centrifugal force of 1,000 miles an hour, you ever been on a merry-go-round? You should be significantly more affected by the ball Earth's immense gravitational field. And when you go from the equator to the North Pole, you should shrink. Your spine should stop being able to support your head. That sounds fucking crazy. But you know what? If you have an IQ over 50, to not realize that it's true means you're willfully ignorant. It's like, have you ever ridden on a merry-go-round or like spun around, or you know what centrifugal force is? Because you can't escape that. That's actual physics. That's actual science. That can be verified under laboratory conditions. NASA's photoshopping can't. The Hubble graphic art department can't. Science is verifiable, observational, empirical data that is recorded in real time under controlled circumstances. Can then be repeated. Show somebody else. Here, this is proven. Not, here I have this image and here I have all this math that explains what these images might be made from. I got a better idea what those images might be fucking explained from, made from. You took a bunch of fucking Christmas trees, you laid them out in a field, and you took pictures. And then you had fun with Photoshop. It's lit up Christmas tree. You can see the fucking strings of light. You can see the fucking branches obstructing. Some places you can actually see the entire Christmas tree on the overlays of the Hubble photos. Okay? Not just the one Matt Boylan. Oh, Matt Boylan had a brilliant one. I remember seeing it on CNN when Neil deGrasse Tyson was sitting there talking about these fucking collisionary supernovas. And I'm just like, that's a fucking collisionary. What? What the fuck are you talking about, man? Because, well, frankly, Neil deGrasse Tyson, Bill Nye, PhD or not, your IQs are 50 points lower than mine. Sorry. I hate to be boastful, but when somebody gives you an IQ test and tells you that you broke records, it's kind of hard to fucking ignore when people are acting like dumbasses and at the same time claiming to be smarter than everyone else. So guess what? They're not smarter than me. And I say the world is flat as a fucking board because all empirical data that could possibly be gathered to support either theory supports the flat earth theory. I say this because all the data that would support the round earth theory is demonstrably easily proven fake. Like fake. Like Pamela's tits. Fake. Like Courtney Love's high school diploma. Fake. Okay? Fake. So, right before this gets obscenely long, I will get back to this absolute zero thing. Just for the other flat earthers. When you have the sun moving around in a circle, the heat doesn't reach the edge, therefore forming the ice. Okay? When you go further out, there's less and less heat. And eventually the light doesn't even make it that far. So there is no kinetic energy of any kind. So there is no molecular motion of any kind. And an absence of both light and molecular motion and consciousness means that space exists, but you're going to have to redefine space. Or at least take the definition that you have more literally. Space is nothingness. Beyond where the sun and stars can reach in their big Merlin's hat that is the sky, there is the fluid of nothing. There is the ether. If you aren't familiar with any references to the ether, well, that's what it is. And you might be interested to go look up what previous alchemists and metaphysicists have had to say about it. But basically, space is the ether. And like I said in my last videos, previous video before last, stars are ascended beings. So, like, if you want to call them the ancient gods and goddesses of old, it's really not that far off. And your ancestors that are up there would technically welcome you to their planets if you one day found the way to visit. And I'm sorry, it is a little more complicated than second start to the right and straight on till morning. Hope everyone has a wonderful hump day. Yeah, everybody go ride a camel. It's hump day. Like, subscribe, please.